A team of three superheroes and a team of three police officers is going to approach it way different. And who you think got the least margin of error, and who you think need the most help on their side to make it work, not the superheroes. So that's the same thing with super teams. Like, you can have a very good team, but you need so much for it to go right. You need great coaching, you need great defense, great offense. You got to be consistent, right? You got to run a good offense. You got, you have to have a good philosophy. In most cases, a regular team, it takes about 3 to 4 years for you to actually gel. I heard Michael Jordan say when Phil first got there, it took them 3 years to learn the triangle 100%, right? It took them about 3 years to learn a triangle. So you just can't take a team like, and then they lost to Detroit like 2 years in a row before they got to the finals, maybe 3 years in a row before they got to the finals. So it takes time for a regular team to develop into a contender. But a super team can get, like Miami, when Miami Heat joined Bosh, Wade, LeBron, they ran a horrible offense. They couldn't figure out who was going to take the shot at the end, LeBron or Wade. Sometimes Wade would defer to LeBron, LeBron would defer to Wade. Bosh didn't know his real role. They didn't have a real offense. And they started out like 0-4, and they still made it to the finals. That's the difference between a regular team and a super team. You don't need the margin of error is huge because you got 3 superstars on it. Carlo, Nino, what's up, big dog?
What's up, man? I just got a little pushback on you. I got to push back, man. On the super team thing, I don't think Chris Bosh has ever been a superstar now. But I get the point can still stand for me on the super team because I don't believe you have to have 3 superstars to be a super team. I believe there's other factors. But I would just say on the Chris Bosh point, was he working his way to it? Maybe. Maybe now. It could have been possible. I ain't going to take it. It's not a big point to make, but I don't think he ever reached that level of superstar. Now, Wade was certified. Wade was certified superstar. But I don't know about Bosh. And Wade was injured after what series did they say Wade was injured? He got injured at the end of Oklahoma series. That's why he probably didn't have as good a series. I don't hold that against him because he was hurt and he still balled though. But the point, they was a great team. So I'm not taking. It's not a big point. That's not even my main point. I just think we get a little carried away with the superstar tag. A little bit, but I get the point you make. I was saying, did you see what LeBron said about the way they played, the way he played that when he came out of high school, he didn't have the ball in his hand as much. And I thought about it, I always thought this. He said that he played, everybody come down, they run sets in the system. He said that they put the ball in his hands and told him, hey, everybody can't make plays in the NBA. You got to make the play. You got to initiate the offense. And I think about James Harden when he was in OKC. He didn't really play freestyle like this, like he did now. I'm not sure about Luka. I ain't really followed Luka the whole time. Westbrook, for some reason, he always played that way. Even with KD on the team, he just played kind of, it's my turn, your turn. So I think they put him at point guard and what did that. What do you think about Bron saying that he didn't play that way till he got to the NBA?
I don't think nothing about it because what I'm describing is that he did play that way in the NBA. I don't care what he did before the NBA. He did. I'm describing what he's playing like in the NBA and why his stats is what it is and why it means nothing and why it actually makes it harder for you to win. Right. So so the reason why he's playing that way is to no effect to me, because if we do know that Michael Jordan played that way when the Bulls couldn't get out over the hump. Michael Jordan started taking it. I guess they put the ball in his hand as a point guard, and his stats exploded even then. But it was a horrible way to play. Right. So
what I'm asking you is, Yeah, because I know, because you finna break down, and I agree exactly. I want you to break that down. What you finna say, but what I'm asking is, because you said this now. I remember you said on the show I was listening, and they was asking about Kobe's immediate success, and you kind of agree with that. You said that Kobe, and I agree with you. Kobe was just as good as AI, which AI is my favorite player. You had a little slammed on that, but he had to. He came into the system and he could have played, but the coach was stubborn, so it kind of benefited Kobe in the long run when Phil came and he actually had to fit in the system, and he still could do his thing. Versus they put the ball in AI hand too, like, hey, we ain't really that talented, and I think Kobe could have done that what Bron and AI did, but you said it yourself. It's not when you think about it. It's not the best basketball for winning, which I agree with. They made it work kind of some type of way, but what do you think about players? Because this is what Bruce told me. I think Bruce thinks every coach has a system. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. So what do you think about that, though? My pushback that Phil was able to get to Kobe and Mike early and implement a system versus some coaches just get their players the ball, tell them, hey.
Yeah, I mean, Phil was able to get the Mike and Kobe early. I don't know if you would call it early though, because Kobe did have Dale Harris for his first 2 years, or maybe his first 3 years. First three. And Mike did have a couple of coaches, and I think one of them was his good friend, and I forget his name. He hired him in Washington, but his name is escaping me right now. But Doug Collins. He had Doug Collins. Some years, probably maybe 3-4 years, and he had somebody before Doug Collins. I can't remember who that was. So Mike had some people before Phil got there. So I wouldn't say he got him early, but he did get him early enough to change his way. But Michael Jordan did play the style of basketball that I despise. I hate that style of basketball. But if he would have kept playing that style, he would have passed Wilt with so many numbers. He would have passed Magic in the city. He definitely was go past Kareem in scoring. But he probably would have had one ring, because it's hard. It's so hard to win like that. And you need so much help and so much superstar talent around you, and so much all-star talent. You need the world to make that work. That's why LeBron's entire career has been centered around who is coming to help LeBron. LeBron needs shooters. LeBron needs this. LeBron needs that. Think about any other superstar that didn't win, and I want you to think that we ever say they need. LeBron is the only superstar I've heard that for. He needs. But every other superstar, it's you couldn't do it. You wasn't good enough. Right? When Kobe was playing with Luke Walton and Smush Parker, he wasn't good enough. He was jacking up too many shots. He wasn't playing with his team. Nobody said he needs.
In my defense, Mary, I know you ain't know me back then. I swear I was saying that. I'm like, hey, this dude. But then you making a great point. Do you see, and your point is very valid. Do you see what Kobe did with a sorry team? I ain't even talking about the winning, because I'm talking about 80 points, averaging 40. So
yeah, but nobody cares. But also nobody cares. Nobody measures a player by how much they was able to do with the least amount of, or like with a sorry team. Like nobody thinks of, like, when I'm thinking about a player and how good he is, the last thing I think about is his teammates. I'm just thinking about him. And I'm thinking about what I've watched on the floor from him to determine how good he is. But for some reason with LeBron, when we want to explain how good he is, the first thing we say is he had a sorry team in Cleveland and he got him to the finals. Like you have to take his teammates and lower them to raise up LeBron. And I've never seen nothing like that before. Like, he's good because his team is sorry and they went far with this team. Well, Iverson team
My theory is
had least players on it than the Cleveland team, and he took them to the finals and won a game against a Shaq and Kobe Lakers team. This is in the playoffs where they swept everybody in the West, and the West was like 3 times better than the East, and he had to get through players like Tim Duncan and Karl Malone and Dirk, and like these teams were stacked. Sacramento, he getting through these stacked teams in the West, and they didn't lose one game. They imagine sweeping first round, second round, conference finals, and then getting to like you swept the West. And then this one little Iverson kid got game number 1 against you in overtime by himself almost. Like Iverson got in the way of them having the first and only undefeated playoffs that we've ever seen. That's dominance. But they lost 1 in the playoffs, right? That's dominance. And Iverson got a win with a lesser team than LeBron. LeBron didn't even get a win with that Cavs team against San Antonio. He got swept. But this is what people use to elevate him. Reggie Miller got a team in Indiana to the finals, I think twice. Jason Kidd got a team in New Jersey to the finals twice.
he did. Okay.
Allen Houston got a team in New York to the finals.
I mean, I'm not as big on the 8 straight finals because I do believe that the East, the East wasn't good. It wasn't great teams in the East to me. The Boston Celtics was, but KG got hurt, so it's hard to, you know what I'm saying? That first year they had James Pose in them. I go to the bench too when I'm talking teams. That team was stacked, but KG got hurt, so it's hard to say it was just great teams. That's the definition of a very good team.
But a very good team. And a very good team is good. That's all you need. A super team, you don't even need a very good team for. That's my point. If your team is a super team, you don't need that much, right? Like, put it this way. Like the police force are heroes full of regular people. They're just regular people that sign up to be a police. Hey, I want to be a police. You know, teach me how to use this gun. Teach me how to use the baton. Teach me how to use a shield. Teach me some little hand-to-hand combat. Give me some mace, right? And then we can practice how we're gonna clear a house. You know, we bust in the door. I go right, you go left. I go high, you go low. Right? We practice all that stuff, right? Regular people need to practice stuff like that. Like we need to do a lot. We got very little margin of error. We can't make a lot of mistakes. We have to be on point. So we have to practice, and then we need other enforcement. We need guns and all that stuff, right? But a team of superheroes like the Avengers, like if I got Superman and freaking X-Men, 2 X-Men, do they need a gun? Do they need practice? Like for the same goal, like if a police force wanted to go in and rescue a hostage from a hostage situation in the house, we want to get in the house, get the dude out of there, whatever we need to do. A team of 3 superheroes and a team of 3 police officers is going to approach it way different. And who you think got the least margin of error, and who you think need the most help on their side to make it work, not the superheroes. So that's the same thing with super teams. Like you can have a very good team, but you need so much for it to go right. You need great coaching. You need great defense, great offense. You got to be consistent, right? You got to run a good offense. You got, you have to have a good philosophy. In most cases, a regular team, it takes about 3 to 4 years for you to actually gel. I heard Michael Jordan say when Phil first got there, it took them 3 years to learn the triangle 100%. Right? It took them about 3 years to learn a triangle. So you just can't take a team and then they lost to Detroit like 2 years in a row before they got to the finals, maybe 3 years in a row before they got to the finals. So it takes time for a regular team to develop into a contender. But a super team can get like Miami, when Miami Heat joined Bosh, Wade, LeBron, They ran a horrible offense. They couldn't figure out who was going to take the shot at the end, LeBron or Wade. Sometimes Wade to defer to LeBron to defer to Wade. Bosh didn't know his real role. They didn't have a real offense, and they started out like 0-4, and they still made it to the finals. That's the difference between a regular team and a super team. You don't need the margin of error is huge because you got 3 superstars on it. You got 3 superheroes. You got Superman and you got 2 X-Men.
I will not deny.
Right.
That comes in.
Yeah. So that's what a super team is. When you got 3 superheroes on your team, you don't need a full team and you don't need a lot of time for you to develop and gel. They made it to the finals without a real offense.
They did, but they wasn't a great, what I call great team. So let me ask you this, if we got time. The Cleveland team is not considered a super team by most.
And you talking about Kyrie, Kevin Love, LeBron, J.R. Smith?
Right. They saying Kyrie wasn't this year and all this.
Yeah.
My theory, and I always say this, because I don't just say super team, whatever. But my theory is the Cavaliers team was better than the Heat because of the fit. Because, like you said, Wade and Bron kind of does the same thing in a sense. Kyrie, now we can talk about everything, y'all. Everybody talking crazy about Kyrie and all that. One thing we can't deny is Kyrie put that ball in the hole now.
Yeah.
And K-Love stretched the flow good. And the bench, though, Shump, JR, Shannon Fries. Man, that team was 8-9 deep. So do you think the 8 or 9 deep team like we seeing now? We seeing teams get their 8 or 9 deep. Are you taking that over the 3 big players that's supposed to be 3 great players on the front end?
I mean, me personally, I value the one superstar with a really good co-star and good role players placed around him that plays really great defense and runs a really great offense. I prefer that because I've seen that win more often than not. The super team, though, it's hard for, like, if you got an opportunity to get one, it makes everything easier for you. And sometimes easy ain't the best way, but in Golden State's case, adding KD to Steph and Clay, and if you think Clay was a superstar at that time, then that was a super team. And like their skill sets was so unique and so hard for the league to guard because it was based on shooting and everything else. Like it wasn't based on them driving to the hole with a head full of steam like Giannis, LeBron, or Wade. It was more nuance to the game. So it's hard to turn that down. If I get an opportunity to get Steph, Clay, and KD, I might want that. Like seriously, I might want that for real. But you can't turn down a Shaq and Kobe or Pippen and Jordan either.
You can't turn down Shaq and Kobe, man.
Yeah,
Pippen and Jordan.
Yeah,
Pippen and Jordan.
Shaq and Kobe in a triangle with a good supporting cast, and Pippen and Jordan in the triangle with a good supporting cast. Well, can't turn that down.
I'm taking. I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna even start that. I'm taking Shaq and Kobe, man. I'm talking about by two. I'm glad you spoke on it because I'm a basketball fan first. Let me tell your audience this. I like Bron. I like Kobe. Everybody, but by 2002, 2001, hey, Kobe was an animal now.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. If you remember watching the league at that time, it was a lot of people already comparing him to Jordan while he was still playing with Shaq, and already saying that he coming from Jordan and he might be the best player we've seen.
They was already saying it.
And even Shaq said it. Even Shaq said Kobe was the best while they were still playing together. Like he used to say it all the time, but
like Gil said, they was comparing him to T-Mac at the time, but I don't know what happened. T-Mac got injured, yeah.
Nobody
and I feel like they they were saying that. And
they had a brief period where they was comparing Kobe to Penny.
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, but they compared him to Penny as well. And Kobe took offense to that. And when every time he played Penny, he gave him work. Right. And then Penny's injury took him out of that conversation, and Kobe's play as well. And then it had a small time where it was like, oh, well, Kobe and T-Mac, and that was proven to be not a real conversation either. So it was brief.
No. But the clip I sent you, though, I told you what happened, bro. And you seen, I sent you the clip back in about a couple weeks ago where Kobe said he got that stuff from MJ, and I think Bron didn't have it. Say they were doing something, and I think it was at the Olympics. And the stuff he told Bron, and I told everybody, they lost to Dallas. Bron, check that Dallas game out if y'all get time. Bron never went to the post like Kobe do when if you know Kobe game, he go to that over there on the post, but it's not like a low post, kind of mid. Go look at Bron when he come back from over there with Kobe and see what he did to Kevin Durant. He wasn't taking Kevin Durant shooting off the ball or driving, kicking.
Correct.
He got Kevin Durant down there at that low block, and that's what Anthony Edwards need to learn.
And you know what?
I'm loving the show.
I'm glad you said that, because we're gonna get into that conversation next.
Hey, I'm dig. I like when you talk some hoops, man. It ain't no hate talking real hoops talk. So
for sure,
even LeBron fan, we can't deny.
For sure. Appreciate the call, bro.
All right, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Just for people who's joining late, the young kid came on here and asked Charles Barkley, how can he still consider Michael Jordan the GOAT over LeBron when LeBron has all these stats? And, I just applied this logic across the board and said, how can you consider Steph Curry a better player than Westbrook when Westbrook had these stats over him? Points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, all better than Steph Curry and what Russell Westbrook's favor. Then the kid said, well, LeBron passed Michael Jordan in scoring with less shots, and that's easily explained by the amount of threes that LeBron took and made. He's took or attempted 6,000 more threes than Michael Jordan in his career, and he's made 3,000 more threes than Michael Jordan in his career. So when you take and make more threes, you're going to reach the same point total as me with less shots if you shoot 8 threes a game and I shoot 1 a game. Easily explainable. Let's move on.